Tom, thanks for your time. How does it feel to be on the cusp of 100 tries for Hull FC?
Yeah, pretty crazy really. Obviously, it's been a while since I started at the club, and to come back, it was something that I wasn't aware of. But yeah, nice to be on the verge of that, yeah.
What would it mean if you were to do it away at Warrington? What would it mean to achieve that milestone for the club where it all began for you?
Well, it's funny how things work out, isn't it? Potentially to do it where I debuted for the club. Yeah, it'd be massive. Obviously, to get to 100 tries is a proud moment. And I think just going into ninth as well, by myself in the top 10 would be a nice achievement. But yeah, I think I can put a lot of those tries down to the teams and players I've played with, which I'll forever be grateful for. The opportunities that I've had to put me in that position.
Do you remember your first for Hull FC?
I actually can't.
Do you need me to
It's a while.
you?
Yeah, you remind me.
Against Cass back in June 2008.
Wow. Yeah, I have no recollection of that, but 2008, a long time, and I suppose a lot of tries in games later. To be still going, another thing that I'm proud to say that I am still going after all that time.
What's your favourite try that you've scored for Hull FC?
I think it's got to be the derby, the full lengther at the KC running down the touchline. I watch that back, and the quality of the videos that I see on that makes me feel old, and I'm sure the quality of video back then was better than that, but it's a nice, funny moment.
You mentioned earlier about the Super League all-time try scorers list. You've drawn level with Leon Price. Have you given his son Will much stick about that this week?
No. Again, it's something that's come and kind of out of the blue. Not something that I've ever aimed to achieve or looked at doing. And again, funny how things work out. That I'm in a team where Leon's son's playing when I've matched that tally really.
How much would you like to get to 200 Super League tries before you finish your career?
It's not something that I'm aiming to do. I think there's bigger things within the team that are more important for me as a role, rather than trying to concentrate and making it about me. So yeah, not something that I'm aiming or want to put a time scale on doing.
What's more important then for you at this stage of your career?
I guess performances on the pitch, and bringing what I can to the young guys around the team, a bit of experience and knowledge in different situations, in videos, in situations, in training, in games. Just that side of things has become a bigger part, and yeah, just what I can bring to the team.
Tom, in terms of your time here at Hull FC, your second spell, what's the latest on your future? Is there any update on your contract status at the moment?
Not at the moment. Just that I guess I'm not really worried about that. Mm-hmm. I've made no qualms about it. I'd like to stay. And yeah, we'll just see how performances go and what the club want to do.
Can I ask, at the age of 35, how long do you see yourself playing for?
Again, I'm not really going to put a number on it. As long as I feel fit and healthy, and I suppose mentally up for the challenge, then as long as I can get a contract and performing to a good enough standard to be in Super League and deserve a spot, then I'll keep playing.
Of course, your former Leeds Rhinos teammate Ryan Hall has just signed another new contract this month. How much does he inspire you, given he's still going at his age?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that'd make it 20 years for Ryan. So I guess there's a target there to get to 20. I'm on 18 at the minute, but again, like I say, we'll see how I feel, see how things progress with the club, and make a decision when that time comes.
In terms of this season, ever present in Super League thus far, how proud are you of that record that you've featured in the team throughout the campaign?
Yeah, really proud. I think throughout my career, that's one of the big things for myself personally that I've been available for like most games throughout my time. So yeah, proud to have been ever present this year, and hopefully we'll see how long that lasts.
Playing in the centres at the moment, given potentially players returning from injury at some point during the season, how do you see your role in general within the team?
Well, we'll see on the field how that progresses. Like you say, people coming back and injuries and what have you have led to me playing more in the centres. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when it comes, when everyone's fit, see what my role is, what the coach wants. And like I said before, about just bringing my experience to the younger lads. Obviously, we've got Harvey and Lewis on the wings at the minute, so even if my role is to help coach them, I'll do what I need to do.
Of course, you've got David Litton alongside you in the centres at the moment. Why do you think he's flourishing currently?
I think the energy he brings, the competitiveness of David is all massive and a big part of why he's getting the recognition he is. He's obviously a good player on the back of it, but I think he brings a lot of energy and skill to our team, which is what you need from young kids coming in and trying to show what they're about.
In terms of the two younger wingers, who are you helping more at the moment?
Well, I guess I'm inside Harvey, so I guess he's getting more help from me, just like play to play and set to set in a game. But I'd like to think helping Harvey helps Lewis as well, and in videos and meetings and stuff, and even just in play where we get a break just to talk to Harvey, and if he has any questions, I feel like I'm there for both of them to help.
Back to you, you mentioned it earlier, you made your second Hull FC debut at Warrington, try number 91 I think in that game as well. How do you reflect upon the transformation in the club's fortunes since then?
Oh, it's night and day. Obviously coming in last year we were in a real tough spot as a club, and performances on the pitch were nowhere near where they needed to be. So I think what happened and the turnover in the off-season, and then John coming in with the players that he signed, has been a massive turnaround. Obviously, the performances on the pitch have shown that we're competitive in every game, and it's where we want to be. Obviously, we've still got lots to improve and get better at, but I think where we are at the minute is a good spot to be in.
Where do you think there's room for improvement coming off the back of the win at Salford?
I think it's mainly our consistency from game to game, and just applying our game plan and sticking to that. I think our defence has been good for the majority of games. I think that's an area where the week before we were probably off. So especially against Warrington, they throw the ball about. They've got big middles, so we know we need to be on defensively. And if you can limit teams defensively, I'm confident that we've got the strike power to score tries.
Zach Hardacre was talking after the win about this side on its day being a top 4 team. Where do you think this team should be on paper? I know it's a lot easier to play the game on paper, but where do you think it should be within the Super League?
No, I'd agree with that. I think our performances this year warrant that. I think where we've been in tough games and some of the games that we've played our best, we've competed with the top teams. So no, definitely I think we can be top 6, top 4 team without doubt if we put it all together consistently.
How do you get that consistency to make that a reality?
I think the main thing is trying to keep your starting team on the field at the minute. We've got a lot of injuries, but I think a bit of consistency in the team. But on the flip side of that, with all the injuries, it's the guys coming in who need to step up and fill those roles, which is what the top teams are capable of doing.
How do you see this game at Warrington compared to the win back at their place in April, if I recall correctly?
No, it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, they're coming on the back of a loss, so they're at home. They're going to want to want a response from that performance. So we're expecting a real tough game, a gritty game, where, like I said before, it'll probably come down to our defence whether we're on or not.
Tom, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi Tom. We spoke last week about finding discipline and finding a balance in performance again. Did you feel like you got that at Salford, especially in the second half?
Yeah, I feel like we did. I think the scoreline, it was hard at the weekend. It felt a bit frustrating playing during the game. But we ended up with a very good performance and scoreline. So I think although we can take a lot out of the game and areas to improve, we weren't at our best and we still managed to post some points. So no, we can, going forward, take a bit out of that game and still with areas to improve. Positive.
Does that give confidence though, knowing that, especially with kick chase in the second half, your edges were flying, weren't you, and really pinning Salford? So does it give you confidence that if you stick to the process, you will get your rewards?
Yeah, without a doubt, and we've said that all year. And talking about the consistency of doing that, we need to make sure right from the first whistle that's where we're at. And especially this week, with Sneed kicking as he does, we're going to be in some tough spots, so we need to make sure on the flip side we're putting them in some tough spots and backing our defence and kick chase to grind them down.
How do you keep sticking to that process then? Because it takes a lot of discipline, doesn't it? But it takes a lot of focus and concentration as well, a lot of mental aspects. Yeah,
it is. I think it's all mental with regards to sticking to a game plan. It's hard in the moment when you see something's on to pull it in and rein in maybe a pass or an offload that you speculate. And it is a real discipline to stick to that and believe in the process that even though that pass is on or might be on, just taking this carry and going on the next play, that would be better for the team. So it's all mentally trying to do what the team needs and what our goals are for a set.
What's John's message there then? Because obviously he wants you to stick to your focuses, but I'm sure, as a coach, if you as a player see something on, you've got to be backed as well to do your own skill, I guess, and back it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, if something's on and you think you can, like, I'm the same, I'd want us to take them opportunities. But if we're going to do that, we just need to nail it. And you need to be able to wear that if we do make an error, we need to back that up, and that's gone against the game plan.
I know you get asked. Interesting. I know you get asked this a lot, but Lewis and Harvey this year have come on leaps and bounds. About 75 games between them now. I mean, especially Harvey playing with him, and he took a little bit of stick after the Cast game, but he bounced back last week. So, what does that say about him as a young person and his development? Yeah,
I think to go anywhere in this game, you need to be resilient and thick-skinned. You've got to be able to make mistakes, but not dwell on them. And especially during a game, if you make a mistake, there's no time to think about it and sulk and go into your shell. You need to bring that performance back to the front and concentrate on the next play. And like you say, Harvey coming back from that game, and I think over the last few games or months, they've both made mistakes, but they've both responded from those mistakes, and I believe they're playing really well and bringing a lot to our team.
How far can they go?
I think they've got potential. They carry the ball well, they're learning the game, they put themselves about, big, strong, powerful, athletic players, which is all qualities that you want. Now it's just about getting the experience and, I suppose, game knowledge around that raw talent.
The club have brought in a trialist, Jack Rampton. Have you had much say in training with him recently? Because obviously he's an outside back, come from Rugby Union, wants to learn this game. So, who better to turn to than a 400 game veteran? Can I say veteran?
Well, yeah, I think that word's getting tossed around a bit at the minute. But, again, like I said before, my role is to help bring an outside back on. And I'm finding a lot of, don't know what the word is, but comfort in doing that. And like you say, Jack's come in, and whatever I can do to help him be a success in rugby league, without a doubt, I'll do and try to help him as much as I can.
Hi Tom, just going back to that personal achievements about being on Super League's top try scorer list. Obviously played Hull, Leeds and Lee, also 15 games for England as well. So if my maths are right, 227 tries you've scored all in all, which equates to 944 points. You're only 14 tries away from getting over 1,000. Is that achievable for you in your career so far?
Well, when you put it like that, it's achievable, isn't it? 14 tries. But again, it's just another stat that is there. If I get it, brilliant. If not, I've got no, I'll have no regrets there.
And in terms of the current squad, I know you've just alluded to it on some of the players' abilities currently right now. Who could emulate or even surpass what you've achieved, especially when looking at the young kids that you're playing with at the moment?
Well, no, I think the good thing at this club, the young talent and the exposure they've had early leads onto that well, as long as they can keep their heads down. And we spoke about resilience before. Be resilient to whatever the game throws at them. There's potential for anyone to recreate that, really.
And I'm going to put you on the spot here with a bit of trivia, test your knowledge on rugby league.
I'll probably fail, but don't.
No worries. I had to look it up, so don't worry. Which current Hull FC employees are in the top 50 of Super League top try scorers?
Well, I'll probably say Richie.
Richie's one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Top 50, did you say?
He's a player.
Current player.
Current player. I thought Richie would be the hard one.
Current player.
Yeah, I guess. Zach.
It's Zach Hardacre.
Right.
Zach's in the top 50 as well.
Right.
So, well done.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me now you said Zach, but I was thinking more of Hull players, to be honest. But
No. Thanks, all the best at weekend.
cheers, thank you.
Hi Tom, just a couple from me. Just on your future, I just wanted to ask, has there been any talks, has discussions started at all regarding...
No, like I said before, just like I'm not worried about that. Like that'll come. Even if it's the end of the season, I'm confident that something will transpire. But yeah, not yet.
But you feel like you have plenty to offer this club still going forward beyond this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think performances on the field, personally, I think warrant that. And that's what all I'm trying to do really is make sure that my performances on the field are good enough to be part of this team going forward.
Hi Tom, talking about the young players that you're helping to bring on, how pleased were you to see Jack Charles make his first appearance of the season at Salford? Yeah,
I think last year he got a lot of experience in tough games, and as a half to come in and control a Super League team on the back of probably a pack that aren't winning games and winning territory is really hard, and I would say that he probably learnt a lot last year. So to see him come in and, like you say, make his first appearance this year, it's good. It's great to see, and I hope he makes many more and really takes his chance.
Because of course he's had back-to-back serious injuries, hasn't he? So to come from that and to be at the halfway point, he's forcing his way into the first team, and he came on and took over the goal kicking quite simply, didn't he? What does that say about him as a character?
Yeah, the confidence in his own abilities, I suppose, the resilience within the man. Like you said, he had a real tough spell over pre-season with injuries. But to come out of the back of that, it'll set him in a good mental state to really approach the game well going forward. He knows what those tough days look like. and he just needs to be confident enough, given his chance, to do what he does and perform how he does, what's got him into that team.
And of course, you came in halfway through last season, you played in a team with the likes of Harvey Barron, Lewis Martin, etc. How much of a difference are you seeing in them this year after those experiences that they had last year?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Like I said before, the tough experiences really mould and guide you as a player. And I think you really need those to go on and get better, to know what it's like to really tough it out. And I suppose that's what makes the best players in the tough days. They're still willing to turn up and get better. They will have got a lot of good experience from last year. And I think, in a weird sense, it's where we don't want to be ever again as a players. So to have that experience and know where we don't want to be and where you do want to be, it'll drive you more as a player to want to get better, to want to be winning games and being competitive.
And looking at this game this weekend against Warrington, if you win, you go 7 points clear of them. So it would mean 7 points clear of 8th place. Does that make the playoffs suddenly seem very much closer, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you look at the table and what the significance of the game for both teams. So yeah, we need to be using that as a driver to push on, and like we mentioned before about the potential within the team for the end of the year. We need to be winning games like this and making sure we're performing and taking the opportunities in front of us and putting it in our own hands.
And of course, a lot has been made of the injuries that they're suffering, like Matt Duffy, Matty Ashton, etc., etc. How important is it to make it more about who you're facing on the field rather than who you're not having to face because they're sat in the stand injured?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, that's the biggest thing in sport, I guess, is looking at the other team and not recognising names and underestimating them. Everyone in the team is there for a reason and on their own performance and their own merit. So like we talked about Davey and the energy and what he brings to our team, they have those players in their team. So we know we need to be on no matter what the team sheet says. They have their own game plan, and the players coming in will be sticking to that and will be doing their best to do that. And there won't be bad players. So we know we need to be on top of our game going into it.
So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.